This is an Ielts speaking test simulation. Welcome.
Thank you.
Can I have your name?
My name is Julia Jones.
Hi Julia, whereabouts are you from?
I live in the Melbourne CBD and have done so for the last 5 years and love every minute of it.
Oh, great. And are you studying or working?
No, in actual fact, I retired a few years ago. I was actually a registered nurse and I worked for over 40 years within the hospital systems of Melbourne.
Oh, wow. All right, now we're going to start off with part 1 of the simulation.
Yes.
We're going to talk about art.
Mm-hmm.
Did you enjoy doing art lessons when you were a child?
No, hated every minute of it. It wasn't one of my fortes. I just didn't grab onto it and it was not my thing.
Fair enough. So do you ever draw or paint pictures now?
No, because I know I've got no ability, so it's best to leave it to the experts.
When was the last time you went to an art gallery or an exhibition?
I actually go to art galleries quite often because I live in the city. I can go to the National Gallery, so I do that when there's sort of some major exhibition or other on. And I enjoy older paintings rather than the more modernist type of painting that some people like.
And what kind of pictures do you have up at home?
The pictures at home I mainly have were ones that belong to my sister who has since passed away. So they perhaps wouldn't be what I would have chosen, but knowing that they were hers and I look at them and I remember her, it is really, really something special for me or to me.
Oh, lovely. Now we're going to move on to part 2 of the simulation. I'm going to get you to describe a time when you visited a friend or family member at their workplace.
Mm-hmm.
You should say who you visited, where this person worked, why you visited this person's workplace, and explain about how you felt about visiting their workplace. You'll have to talk for about 1 to 2 minutes, and you'll have 1 minute to think about your answers.
Thank you.
So I'll pass you a bit of paper and pen.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Time's up. Thank you. Now, please explain the time that you visited your family or friend.
I visited my son in the city. That was the last time I went to somebody's workplace. He works as a public relations person for a larger company, but it's actually in BHP House. So I go there fairly regularly to visit. But the main reason I went to visit him this time was because I'd actually forgotten his birthday present, which was on the week before. So I thought, let not too much grass grow under my feet. So I actually went in and gave him his present. He was very impressed, especially with the handwritten card that accompanied it. I actually had thought quite a lot about what I was going to write in that. I love going to visit BHP House because it actually has quite an opulent feel about it. It's really quite relaxing just to sit there. So sometimes I need to wait for him. I just get my book out as I usually do and just sit there and read because it's exceedingly restful place, but there's still a lot of toing and froing. And as I say, the architecture is just beautiful. Just beautiful. There's a lovely atrium that you can actually look straight up at, and it really is quite a spectacular building. And whoever was the architect did a wonderful job. But Michael, as I say, he enjoys working there, and hopefully he'll continue working there for a bit longer. But he's looking for another job, as young ones do these days. So. That's the way it is. But as I say, I think anybody who works in the city would find it a really uplifting experience because there's just so much to offer in the city, and as I've found living there as well.
And what about the people in his workplace?
The people in his workplace, I've only heard names. I hear about names, but I've never actually, although tell a lie, I have met one of his work colleagues at his 30th birthday party, which was about 12 months ago. But other than that, I don't know anybody, and it is quite high security to actually get in the building.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of passes and stuff that you need to have to actually get up further than just the foyer.
All right, great. Thank you for that. Now we're moving on to part 3 of the simulation. We're going to talk about different kinds of workplaces. What things do you think make an office comfortable to work in?
I think the people that and the atmosphere or the organisational milieu, as they call it in the biz. You can pick up when you actually walk into a workplace. You can often pick up just all the non-verbal stuff, just the feel of the place. Are people happy? Are people laughing? And that is just so important. I've nursed for, as I say, a very long time, and I've worked in some pretty awful situations. But with the people that I worked with, you can work your way through adversity to a certain extent, and really enjoy what you're doing. If you're working with the people that the teamwork and camaraderie, and everybody's working at the same level with the same goal, it makes all the difference, I think.
Why do you think some people prefer to work outdoors?
Why do people, often it's to do with the way they've been brought up, where they've been brought up. Some people don't like the thought of being confined within an office, and they feel that they need the sun on them and the rain, etc. But as I say, it just depends on the individual and what their interests are in life as well, to a certain extent. And from their family of origin. I mean, I know a lot of families go bushwalking and camping and stuff, so people really enjoy the outdoors, whereas for myself, that wasn't something we did as a family. So consequently, I just ended up working in hospitals and working in big hospitals. And I much prefer the bigger the hospital, the better, because of the atmosphere.
And do you agree or disagree that the building the people work in is more important than the colleagues that they work with?
No, every time the people just make it. And as I say, it's just, if you've got a really cohesive group, that is just so important, with the same goal. But as I say, I've also worked in a workplace where it was very cohesive, everybody working well, and then one person came in, and over a period of time, the whole atmosphere in the place just deteriorated. Everybody was working and happy and all this sort of thing. This person came in, started, just the negative comments here and there, and it just it really destroyed the fibre of the place. And in actual fact, I ended up leaving because of that.
Now I want to talk to you about the importance of working.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think life would be like if people didn't have to work?
I think it'd be very dull and boring. As I said to you, I've been retired for probably 5 years, and if I was capable of doing it, I'd go back to work in a heartbeat. I enjoyed working with people, interacting with people. I think that if people had no work to do, and that's how I feel, it can be quite lonely, it can be quite isolating, especially for the older age group. And also it's very much a personality thing as well. I find that I really need to go out, and I make an effort of going out every day to meet people. But I know other people who, a week could go by, if they lived by themselves, they wouldn't see another soul. So as I say, I think it's really important to work and to have a goal and a sense of achievement.
And are all jobs of equal importance?
Yes. All jobs need to be done. So, like from the cleaner to the CEO of an organisation, everybody's got their job, and they should. And what I think is that they should perform it to the best of their ability. Some people don't. Some people just sort of glide through life and not really work that hard. They do the bare minimum, which I think is a really negative thing as well. I think one needs to work for a common goal, but also, which is one of the most important things, is that they need to feel appreciated, and that they know that whatever job they're doing within the organisation, it is actually being appreciated.
And lastly, why do you think some people become workaholics?
People become workaholics for two reasons, I think. The first one is the fact that they actually really enjoy what they do, which is a fantastic thing. If you can actually, find something that you have a passion for, I mean, it becomes not really work. I mean, it becomes your life sort of thing to a certain extent, but you must always be aware that you can't just sort of block everybody out, family, etc. You need to find that common balance. The other thing is that some people become workaholics because they're running away from a family situation that they really don't want to be involved in. So it's much easier to use work as an excuse for not going home, not going to social events, etc. So there's usually another layer upon it. But I mean, a workaholic and the way they think, I mean, it's sort of layer upon layer, and often it's sort of, as I've said before, about family of origin and what the work ethic of parents, etc., have been instilled in the child. Then it's followed through as well. So, so I think a workaholic needs to find a happy medium.
Well, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
That ends our simulation.
Thank you very much.